Hey everyone, welcome to the 13th weekly update of the Triumphus project. This week I have some kind of bad news for you guys. It's not too much of a big deal because it won't set us back too much, but if you watched last week's update, I did mention that I've been really busy with some things going on in my life. One of them is that I was told that I have to move houses I think it was last Sunday morning, because my landlord was selling their house, the house that I was renting. So this past week I've been really busy trying to find a new house to move into. We finally did find one, thankfully. So I've been really busy packing and cleaning the new house and moving things over and cleaning my current house, so my landlord isn't left with a big mess to clean up. So because of that, I haven't really had time to work on the server. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from, and you guys aren't too pissed off, if at all. I apologize, it really couldn't be helped. I was as shocked as you guys probably are that I had to move out, especially so quickly, but it had to be done. So Scotty and I were discussing whether or not to host an update this week because there was no actual new content to display. And as well, I don't have too much time, clearly. Right after this video update, I was actually going to be turning my computer off and moving everything related to the Triumphus project to the new house. So, yeah. We actually ended up deciding that we would have an update this week. Instead of showing new updates, we would be showing sorry, that's my phone. I'd be showing some of the content that wasn't displayed in last week's update. Specifically things like blue mages going into trans, blue mages in general, their debuffs, maybe a PvP fight between a blue mage and another class, like a blade warrior, for example. I'm just gonna go ahead and see if Scotty is online. And we'll show you the notable differences between if a player is black touched, if a player isn't black touched. We'll go over some of the effects of debuffs. I'm not sure if I showed you the buffs for red mages last week, but I'll show you that as well. So hopefully you guys will get a pretty nice understanding of all the buff systems and debuff systems and the complete trans skills and AoEs. I know we haven't shown winter restriction yet, that's an AoE, but it's also a trans skill, so that's a bit of a combination of both systems. Yeah. He's actually not responding, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give you an introduction real quick. If he responds during the video, we'll set up a fight. If not, I'll just have two clients running and you guys will see the differences like I did last time. I know I mentioned that I was busy, but there was actually some important stuff going on in the background, more business related than anything, but I know I mentioned that we've been switching IOCP and all this stuff, and this week we've actually received the contracts to sign for the person that's going to be developing our IOCP server. Once the contracts are all signed, I'll let you guys in on more of the information in terms of what and who is being what and who is developing it. Right now all I have to do is print the contracts out, sign them, send them back, make our first payment for the development, and then they'll start development work, and I'll be able to give you guys more details on that. So hopefully by next week I'll give you guys a full set of updates, both in terms of the IOCP and the server, maybe some new content, hopefully, as long as everything goes well with my move this weekend. And again, this is also the reason why I'm doing an early update. I won't be able to do it tomorrow at all because my internet won't be hooked up, for one. And I'm not sure if I'll have everything sorted in the house by tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video because I just realized I haven't actually started the server yet. So I'm going to pause the video, and then I'm going to start the server, and then I'll unpause it. Alright, so the server started. I'm going to go ahead and log on to an account that has a BM, which this account does not. So I'll log on to this account. Oops, sorry. That's just a bug that I've been trying to fix. It should be fixed with the IOCP. It just happens when a user is already logged in, and without the proper IOCP implementation, it disconnects the client before disconnection. It doesn't disconnect the client properly, which causes the client to crash if the login state for that account is already logged in. It's not a big deal. It'll be fixed when the IOCP server is changed over. It's one of the requirements, actually, of the contract that I talked about earlier. So we're just going to go ahead and use Scotty's Blue Mage. As you can see, he has some of the skills already. He has all the master skills. I guess he was too lazy to get Illusion and Mental Command, but I think I've already shown you guys those. I'll just move with this so you guys can see it better. So we'll go into Soccer Field. It was Mana Barrier. That's always nice to have showing. Looks like I already have a fairly decent hotkey setup, at least for PvP. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some of the skills. I'm gonna have to log on to another character. I'll try and fit it so you guys can just see everything. And there's that error again. It's because the account was already logged in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and log on to Red Mage actually instead of a Blue Mage, instead of a Blade, just so it'd be faster. And then right after I show you guys the Blue Mage skills, I can show you guys the Red Mage buffs, and that should be good. Okay, so here's both characters. I'm gonna go ahead and trans. You guys should be able to see that both characters do transform on both screens. There we go. And there we go, transforming. Now that we're transformed, we can use all our skills. I'm going to start off by using Wind Restriction, just so you guys can see that it does work. It's an AoE system, where it starts, where it stops, and that my Red Mage does get damaged. So I'm going to move it over a bit just so you guys can see the health. And I'm going to make sure I have potions. I do. Okay, so I'm going to use Wind Restriction now. So there's Wind Restriction. I'm not getting damage right now because I didn't have PvP on, but if I turn PvP on, it starts damaging my Red Mage. So as you can see right now, it's doing a lot of damage. It does damage every 1 second. It looks like the duration isn't set properly, but again, that's something Scotty will fix. It's just changing a value. So it was damaging me. We've been discussing whether or not Mana Barrier is too weak right now. Right now it takes 40% of the damage dealt to you away, and then 40% of the damage taken gets, okay, so when user is hit, 40% of that damage is reduced, and then 60% of the damage reduced is done towards mana. So if I hit 1,000, 40% of that's going to go away, so it would be 600, sorry, 400 damage would be taken away. And then 60% of 400 would be placed in towards taking away from mana. We've been discussing whether or not to have it reduce the damage by 60%, and that should change it a lot. I believe Sephiroth was 40%, and I believe Nana currently is 40%. But we're not too sure as to whether or not Hyper Engines continued on with 40% or raised it to 60%. It may have been 60% simply because our health does drop a bit fast in comparison to in Hyper Engines TB. So we're going to take a look at that deeper in the next couple updates. But as you can see, Wind Restriction is working. I'm just going to go ahead and cast and run around so you guys can see the distance works. As you can see, I'm still getting damaged. And I stopped getting damaged. Stopped. And that's where I start getting hit. So it does damage once every second. AoE damages, I believe, are once every 0.5 seconds. Next, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys Ice Stinger. It's like in old turf battles where it hits constant damage throughout each player. It hits through armor. So your the opponent's armor won't actually affect the damage. So let's go ahead and try it. And again, it does not hit through Mana Barrier. So Mana Barrier will reduce the damage. The damage always displays as the full amount of damage, but the health reduced is the damage after the reduction. Just like in old turf battles. So where is it? Right here. So there we go. I just hit, I think, 11,000 something. My character should have literally like, oh, my character has like no health. It should have died, but it didn't die. I'll fix that for the next update. It simply means that I did not call the death check. It's no issue. It's just something I forgot to do. Next, we're going to use Mana Rebirth. There were some comments in the last update that Mana Saver was purple. Mana Saver was not purple. It was a light blue. You can verify that by looking through the YouTube videos. Mana Rebirth, however, which is the Blue Mage skills, was turned your mana into a purple instead of a blue. We'll go ahead and use that now. And as you can see, it's now purple. I can cast skills and stuff like that without mana being used. My character just died because I'm guessing I didn't have Mana Barrier on. We'll go back to soccer. Let's try using it again. Oh, I guess I'm hitting just that high on my Blue Mage. Probably because I have no jewelry on. That would be my first guess. Let's go back to soccer. There we go. Nope, it still hit pretty high. Alright, so clearly there's something amiss here. I shouldn't be getting hit for this high at all, actually, because I have a full 10 set. $12,000 AP. Might be because I have 12,000 AP. Okay, well, we'll continue. It seems like my Red Mage is just getting owned. Let's try using one of these skills, see if it doesn't actually die. Yeah, there we go. So we hit 2.7k with that skill. I don't get one hit. That's without Black Touch on. So now we're going to go ahead and use Black Touch on the character. And I'm going to zoom in just so you guys can see that Black Touch is active. There's that cloud of ice and mist, I guess, that's above the character's head. And that displays on my Red Mage screen as well. And I also get a message saying your physical and magic attack are reduced by Black Sorcerer. That's showing the wrong message right now. We'll fix that later. It's a client-side thing. That's why we haven't fixed it yet. It's just changing a string in the client. So right now I'm Black Touched. As you can see, I lost all my Guardian protection just like in old turf battles, and a percentage of my actual secondary defense. So right now I'm gonna use Ice Crystal again, and I should hit fairly fair amount higher. Yeah, 5.1k. I don't remember what the damage was before, but if you rewind the video a bit, you'll be able to hear me say it again. I think it's roughly double what we hit before. As you can see, my health did drop drastically. I think maybe the AP values of blue mages are currently set too high, so we'll go over that later and reduce them accordingly, simply because I shouldn't be able to one-hit players with a single master skill. But as you can see, that does work. Next I'm going to show you the weakened debuff, which stacks with Black Touch just like in Hyper Engines TV. What this does is remove I think it's 1000 or a percentage of the user's or the target's health, the maximum health. So we'll go ahead and use that. As you can see, there's a little circle that's showing up there now. That's the weaken. And maybe I was wrong. Right. So I'm not sure if it lowered my health, but it seems like it lowered my mana. I should have checked the health before the video, but if it doesn't work, I can fix it later. I'll make a note of looking at the video later. Attack debuff should lower my attack. I'll check it this time, so let's set it to Meteor Shower. I have 11,959 AP. When I use attack debuff, it does not stack with Black Touch, so Black Touch gets removed. And now I have that on, and my AP did go down. It's no longer 11k. Something I will note to myself as well is that when Black Touch was removed, my magic was not re-added, so that's something to fix as well. The next debuff is Paralyze, which just makes your character run slower. I think it stacks with everything. So as you can see right now, I'm running really slowly because of Paralyze. And the final... oh, an attack. I already did that one. I already did that one. The final blue mage skill that I was going to be showing in this video is Black Shield, which increases the caster's magic defense. So right now you can see it's 1500 plus 622. I'm going to use it. It's now 1500 plus 684. As you can see, it shows on everyone's screen. Next, something to show would be that even though my mana rebirth wears off, even though my mana rebirth is on, my mana barrier will not get removed if I have 0 mana. So let's go ahead and just use a bunch of our mana just so I'm not here for too long. How much mana does mana rebirth? 1500. So we need one more. Good. So now I'm going to go ahead and use mana rebirth. It's going to use 1500 of my mana, so my mana is going to be pretty low. And then I'm going to attack my character with my Red Mage just to show you that my mana barrier does not turn off. Oh, I'm not transformed anymore. I need to transform. Transform lasts 10 minutes, so clearly this video has gone past 10 minutes. So there we go. There's my mana rebirth. I have 265 mana left. I'm just going to go ahead and do some damage. As you can see on my screen, my mana is now 0, and my mana barrier is still on. This is just like how it was in old turf battles, and it's still in effect. And if I pop up, I have all my mana back, and again, it does not get used when I use skills. As you can see, my mana barrier is getting used, and it's not using any mana. Okay, so next I'm going to show you the buffs on Red Mages. I'm not sure if I showed you guys it or not, but there's Fire buff. It increases your magical defense. I should have checked if it increased it or not, but it should have. This increases your move speed and attack speed. Right now I have a debuff on, so I'm still going to be running fairly slow. But let's go ahead and use it. So as you can see, I am running a bit faster. It'd be even faster if I wasn't paralyzed. Next, Warm Other should increase the AP of my Blue Mage. Sorry if you're noticing that I'm speeding up this video. It's just I'm running out of time. I have to start moving some stuff over to my new house. So let's give my character Ice Crystal. So right now I have 11,153 AP. If I use Warm, I have 12,268 AP. And as you probably saw, my physical AP also went up. And the Warm effect is on my Blue Mage right there. Next, I'm going to do Fire Shield, which increases my physical defense. So right now I have 284 plus 946. Sorry, I mean magical defense. So my magical defense just went up to 619. It does not stack with Fire Buff, so Fire Buff was removed. And now Fire Charge, which increases my physical and magical attack power, it looks like. So let's use that. My physical attack power did go up, but since Fire Charge itself has no AP, my AP is 0, but if I use something like this, my AP is now 13,393, which is higher, I believe. But just to make sure, I'll use Meteor again, because we did previously in the video check the AP of Meteor without a buff on. And now it's 12,556. I think before it was 11,000 something. So those are the Blue Mage and RM buffs and debuffs. I'm not sure if I showed you guys the trans skills for Red Mages, but I'll go ahead and show you guys that real quick. There's my Red Mage transforming. As you can see, the staff is showing just like in the last update. All the other trans skills weapons were showing. So we'll go ahead and use Mana Saver first. There we go, it's a blue color now. Next we'll use Silence Aura. It's going to drain my character's mana. It's a pretty big AoE. There it is. It's draining my mana once every second, I believe. And again, it's pretty big, just like in old turf battles. Next is Wide Fury. Wide Fury would kill my character right now if I switch screens, because I wouldn't be able to pot on the character. So now I'm out of range, so I'm going to go ahead and use Wide Fury. It should hit 11,000 something. I don't think it should kill my Blue Mage, but again, the damage is only reduced by 40%, so it should hit maybe around 6,000, maybe 7,000. I should have some HP left. Let's go ahead and use that. I'm going to go ahead and log on another character, because Wide Fury, just like Scattershot, is a splash damage skill. So anyone that's within range of the skill will get hit. I just want to prove to you guys that that works. So we'll just log on this archer, I guess. Seems like it doesn't have any actual trans skills. But we need to be next to this character. And now I need to get on my Red Mage. And now if I use Wide Fury, it should hit both targets. I think my archer might die. I didn't check his health. I think my Blue Mage will survive. Let's go ahead and try it. As you can see, did a splash damage. My archer did die because it did not have enough health to withstand the damage. My Blue Mage has 285 health left, so it did survive it. The damage was reduced, so it is hitting pretty high. We checked the damage in YouTube videos, so it's hitting the correct damage. I think the issue is that Mana Barrier was 60% in Hyper Engines 2B, so we're going to have to increase that after. I'll do that and have it updated for the next video, if the rest of the team agrees. Right, so that's all the skills and the debuffs. All the trans skills, I believe I showed you guys blades and fists and archers in the last video, so that should all be being shown. I think I showed you guys all the AoEs now as well. The last AoEs I had to show you were Wide Fury and Silence Aura. Both were trans skills and AoEs using both systems. And Silence Aura, of course, does no damage, but it does reduce the mana of the user. I think that's it. So right, thanks for understanding in terms of this update and how I couldn't really do any actual new content updates for this week. I really hope everyone understands. I'm sure some people are going to complain, but I mean, it couldn't be helped. Okay, so hopefully I'll see you guys next week with a brand new update. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's unfortunate that Scotty wasn't available to have a full PvP fight, so you guys can see mages in action with all the skills. But maybe next week we'll do something like that, and instead of a full 10 set or 7-8 set, we'll have something like a basic average set, like a 6 weapon with level 5 armor and maybe 5/5 jewelry. That was a really basic set. I think that was the requirement for NATO. No, I think the NATO requirement for the NATO tribes was a 6/6 jewelry set with either a +6 set and a 7 weapon, or an 8 weapon and a 7 set. Not too sure, but we'll figure out a basic equipment set for you guys to see the damage and all that stuff, and hopefully have a PvP fight. So thanks for watching. I'll just show you guys the archer transformation and closing, and there we go. Pretty cool. Archer's my favorite class, you guys couldn't tell, since it gets everything developed first. Alright, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. Feel free to post on the forums any feedback. I might not look at it or respond right away, simply because I might not have internet access right away, or I might be unpacking, of course, but Scotty will. Yeah, okay, see you guys next week.